Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. Quick warning before we begin. In today's first story update, there is mention of homophobia, so if that is a topic that is uncomfortable for you, you might want to skip that part of the story. Also, in today's video there are two stories and both of them have updates. Now let's get started with the first one. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user ThrowArray AI and AP. I, male 27, just found out I might be an affair partner of female 34. For my job, I travel between 3 different states about every week or so. I will be at one job site for a week, then the next for a week, and so on. Things change as needed, date of travel location and duration of the job. I don't have kids or am I in a serious relationship. I met this woman, Gina, over a year ago. She was at a bar where some of my co-workers like to go after shifts. I went to get a round for the group and she was also getting a drink. We began talking. I introduced myself and she herself. We ended up talking most of the night, but we left it at the bar. We talked a few more times over the course of a month, also at the same bar, and she said she was divorced and not looking for anything. That turned into her just wanting nothing serious and something fun and casual. Due to the nature of my job with traveling and the unpredictability of my schedule, I agreed. We exchanged numbers and that was that. We usually would hook up about 4 to 8 times a month. Over the course of the past year, most of the time we would be at the hotel I was put up in. She said she lived far and I was a closer or safer option. I never questioned her because she was always available, spent the nights, weekends, and was not glued to her phone. I really didn't have any reason to question her. It was fun and we had a good connection. That was until last night. We were hanging out when I needed to get some things from the store and she came with me. We were doing some shopping, having a good time, joking, flirting and laughing. As we were going down an aisle, we heard someone yell, "Gina, is that you?" Gina's demeanor changed, red flag number 1. It turns out that person was an old work friend of Gina's. They talked a little bit when this friend asked who I was, and I politely introduced myself. When the lady asked how we knew each other, Gina quickly said, "He's an old friend from the town she grew up in." Red flag number 2. Then the lady asked Gina, "What is David up to?" Another awkward shift, red flag number 3, and Gina said something about he is doing fine and busy with work, but she clearly did not want to talk about it. David is her ex-husband? They finished the conversation soon after, and I went back to shopping. After we get out of the store, I asked her what that was all about. She said it was nothing and wants to put it behind her. Red flag number 4. She was distant the whole way back to the hotel. I could tell her mind was on something miles, kilometers away. Red flag number 5. I asked if she was okay and she said yes, just fine. Then she cut the night short, making a terrible excuse and left. Red flag number 6. She was originally supposed to see me off this morning. Up to this point, it didn't occur to me that she might have lied about being divorced. I tried to look her up in the Book of Faces. I could not find her on it under the name I knew. Red flag number 7. There was a private account that might have been her but with a different last name. I couldn't investigate further due to the account setting. I'm now on my way to a different job site and won't be back for probably 15 days. She did not respond to my text asking if she was alright or what was going on. The situation is odd and feels off. Not sure what to do. Also, I do get tested regularly and have always been clean. Well, OP, if the situation seems off to you and you are uncomfortable with it, there's a few things that you can do. The first option is to just let it go. If she's ghosting you, then you just don't contact her anymore and that's that. It's in the past and you move forward. The other option would be if this is an itch you just need to scratch, well then the next time that you're in town, see if you can find out a little bit more. I mean, you kinda dated her for a year, she must have said some things regarding her regular life where maybe you could find her and then you can talk to her and ask her the questions that you've got. Like for example, who the hell is David? I mean, it's pretty clear it's somebody very important to her, maybe like a husband. I mean, I've got the same feeling. She was acting shifty, she changed her demeanor, clear signs of a cheater. But there is no actual proof, just this lady calling her Gina and asking about David, and her behavior before that was absolutely normal of a single person. Not acting dodgy, always being available, not constantly keeping her phone away. And if this is the option that you want to go through, OP, my question would be, do you need it because you need closure or you would like to tell David what's really going on? If I was in your shoes, I'd go for option number 2. Next time I'm in town, I would try to find out as much as I can, see if I can contact this David person, see if I can see her and get some information and try to clear this whole thing up. And what about you guys? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes, or what kind of advice would you give him? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Logical Proposal 827 says, this isn't entirely her problem. How could you know? You both set casual boundaries. The thing is, now you know, you know. Be aware that person you ran into her with will probably have picked up the vibe and said something. And you don't need David, someone you don't know what he looks like, walking up to you and getting a sucker shot in. Be alert. Keep the texts she has sent you. Crappy situation, you'll only be the bad guy if you continue without verifying she is divorced. As for telling him if it turns out she is married, well, wouldn't you want to know? Surprise, Moyer Four. Ouch, been there. During my single bachelor times, I met a woman. Said she was single and we had a friends with benefits type thing for a month until I found out she had a husband and kids. Messaged the husband and told him, and even offered to be a witness in divorce if he needed it. He thanked me and that was the end of my involvement. Heavy Ad 5264 says, it's kinda nerd, but you can search the David, or whatever name her friend said on Market. Plus, this different last name you seen on her profile at Book of Faces, someone who's have affairs tends to be secretive on social media. Maybe her ex-husband isn't. HR Per Frockington says, yeah, David is not her ex, so Ghost Protocol with a courtesy shout out to David seems the ticket. In my opinion, he should know she's calling him an ex and acting like he is one, so he can go right ahead and make her one. Additional information from OP's comments. I don't think I can get cell phone records. I googled her number but nothing really came up. I know where she works, don't know the department. Her job is about 30 to 45 minute drive away from where we usually meet up. If I try to call, I need her specific extension or I get put through an automated calling system. The thing that gets me is that this is the first time I didn't try to make a move to flirt. It happened, in my opinion, naturally. The conversation wasn't forced, never any awkward moments. I don't believe there are multiple affair partners, maybe a husband. Dave? As I said, she wasn't on her phone much or taking calls while leaving the room. Never hit her phone. She was always available. If she had multiple partners, I feel like she wouldn't be comfortable with all of that. I have been cheated on before, which is why I took the job I have. Also why I made this post. I never wanted to be the other guy. One issue I am running into is I don't know where she actually grew up. Her dad was in the military and moved around about every 2 years. I don't know where she actually graduated. I know this part she did not lie about. Also, we always met up in the town or somewhere close to it. She said that she never changed her name during the marriage or divorce. Something to do with her dad being very strict on the importance of a last name. Looking back, there are a bunch of red flags I never looked into or didn't care in the moment. My mind was usually on the other pressing matters. I'm still confused and hurt. I will see when I go back if she disappears. Alright, well, the community gave OP also different ways that he could go about solving this issue, and OP gave us a lot more context to understand the dynamics and how much information OP knows. So now it's time to move on with the update to see how this story ends, but of course before that, you know that here's another one of my playlists for you to enjoy after this video. Now let's move on with that update. Hello all, thanks for the comments, they did help me. As a recap, I travel a lot between 3 facilities in different states for work on a somewhat regular basis. Over a year ago, I met Gina. We were basically friends with benefits with hints of a bit more. The last time we were together, we were at a grocery store and a former coworker called her out and asked how David was, and I had no idea who she was talking about. Gina got weird and stopped talking to me while showing multiple red flags. I couldn't look her up for some reason on social media. Then she basically ghosted me. So, I just traveled back there and she was actually at our normal meeting place, a bar. I was surprised to actually see her again. I noticed she was talking to a guy. When she noticed me, she gave me a smile for like half a second and then she got a worried look on her face. She came over to me and apologized again and wanted to talk. Long conversation short, she is married to David. She did lie about her last name and blocked me on social media. She said it was because she was surprised at how she felt about me and didn't want to hurt me. She came clean about everything. Turns out she and David have been married for 10 years, but Gina is what people call a beard. She is straight and her husband is 110% not. Their parents are both super religious and traditional. They live together but have separate lives and relationships. The marriage is basically a cover and only on paper. I guess most of their family does not live here. Most of David's are overseas as they pushed more for a marriage. Her family lives far away, and when they do visit, they go by themselves, making excuses for the other like work obligations. When their families visit their home, he moves into the master bedroom with her just for the visit. Most relationships they have are flings or one-night stands. The person she was talking to at the bar was David, the real David. They showed me proof, IDs including address, current partner of David, social media, things like that. Anyway, the first part of the conversation was just Gina and me. Then he was invited over later, and we had an overall good talk. He explained things from his perspective. We talked about their history and more about them as individuals and as a public couple. Also, the living arrangement. He's actually a really cool guy. Gina explained that I was originally just supposed to be a one-time thing. The one time became a second, then a third, to the point she was scared that letting me know would ruin our relationship. She admitted that she should have said something from the beginning, but was scared. And she flaked when the lady saw us because she was worried about the fallout of their arrangement. For him, it means losing everything and possible unalivement from his family. So she blocked me right after the store incident, in case I were to look them up and contact someone who doesn't know of their relationship. I'm not a social media user. I have them but don't use them. We communicate through texts or Snapchat. I like her, but if our relationship has to be kept a secret, I don't know. I like to not worry when I'm out with the person I'm dating and spoil them. Most of our relationship has been friends with benefits. I now feel like I need to look over my shoulder just in case a friend or family member sees us together. I'm not sure what the relationship is going to be like moving forward, but thanks for everything. Wow, I absolutely did not expect that at all. I mean, well, I guess it's okay now that Gina and OP are having some sort of relationship. I mean, everybody's in it and everybody's okay with it, so there shouldn't be a problem. I do have to say that I think it does suck and it's horrible that David and Gina have to put themselves through this in order to be able to live some sort of life the way they want to, just because their family's views are so strict. Hopefully they can find a better workaround at some point so that they can both live the lives that they want. As for you, OP, you're right. This relationship, as long as Gina and David are married and you can't be with her properly, I would think is never going to really fulfill you. So I would suggest just be careful with your feelings moving forward. Take care, OP, and thank you for sharing. Now, let's move on to the next post that, like I said in the beginning, also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user AITA_Undie. Am I the a-hole for asking my girlfriend to continue doing my laundry if she wants me to buy groceries? My girlfriend, 28 female and I, 32 male, have been living together for 4 years now. She works from home since COVID most of the time, but sometimes does go into the office. I go to my office every day. My girlfriend has always done our laundry together and never had a problem with it for all these years. Since she works from home, she takes care of a lot of the housework, but I do help out where I can when I get back from work. Although she often refuses my offers with reasons like I should wash my hands better. I do wash my hands though. Lately, she has started separating my undergarments and vests from the laundry pile and not washing them when she had no trouble doing that in the past. She said that my undergarments would contaminate her clothes and wanted me to do them myself in a separate load. Yet she still washes hers in the same load. I suggested we do all our undergarments in a different load and she said no because hers are cleaner and that would be worse. She got pretty mad and made some nasty comments about my hygiene, saying I should keep myself cleaner in my privates, not soil myself. I do not, and learn how to wash my hands. I do shower and I do wash my hands, but maybe it is natural that men smell more? I don't know. I am getting pretty annoyed at being treated like I am disgusting when I am not. I lived with my mom before her, who did my laundry and never said my boxers were dirty. I said if she keeps doing this, I will stop buying the groceries she keeps telling me to bring on my commute from work, and she can do that herself. Am I the a-hole? OP, if your hygiene is lacking, then you are definitely the a-hole. You mentioned some key information that I think tells us the kind of state your underwear is in. For example, that your underwear would contaminate hers, that your underwear is dirty, and that you soil yourself. I'm not saying you do. I'm saying if she deduced that from looking at your underwear, then yeah, you are definitely the a-hole for putting your underwear in that state with everything else. And she definitely has a point about your hygiene. Also, I lived with my mom before her, who did my laundry and never said my boxers were dirty, is really not a good argument, man. Not a good argument, ever. I mean, just for using that as an argument kind of makes you the a-hole, I think. And what do you guys think about this whole situation? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see their judgment. Saran1111 says, "You're the a-hole. Come on, if your crusty underwear is dirty enough to contaminate the outerwear, then you have a problem. Book a doctor's appointment to make sure you don't have some random infection, but most likely it is a poor hygiene issue. Your girlfriend is probably sick of getting a UTI every time she has sex with you. Your mom not saying anything is meaningless in this context. I bet she didn't say anything about your nappies as a baby or your bed sheets and special sock when you hit puberty either." Meanest Goose says, "OMG dude, there is no reason an able-bodied adult of sound mind should have crap stains in their underwear. No excuse. Not if you're a dude, not if you're hairy, not if your nasty friends do too. You are speeding down a road toward your girlfriend having nothing but disgust and contempt for you. You are not her child. She should not be seeing your crap, literally, except in perhaps some really distressing illness. If she has no interest in washing your drawers because you won't wipe fully and you can't be bothered to wash your hands well, she soon, if not already, will have no interest in sex with you. It's gross and she'll end up with a UTI. Wipe your ass correctly. You're the a-hole." Clay Teeth says, quote, "I lived with my mom before and she did my laundry." End quote. Quote, "I'm hairy there and have streaks in my underwear." End quote. You're the a-hole. I literally cannot believe I found a real life "men don't wash their ass but want their girlfriend to be their mommy" meme right before my eyes. Additional information from OP's comments. She wants me to take longer showers and shower before bed instead of the morning, which I am not used to. Wants me to wash my hands longer and stuff like that. I will wash my hands and then go unload the dishwasher, and she will stop me unless I wash my hands in exactly the way she wants in front of her. I talked to my best friend about this and he said it was normal, and he does too. Underwear will not be spotless after use, otherwise what is the point of cleaning it? I am sure hers is not clean either. I think she overwashes herself, which is bad and can damage your skin. OP's edit. Okay, point taken. I will take her advice about hygiene and shave or wax down there and see a doctor in case I have some condition, and apologize to her. Alright, well, the community thinks that OP is the a-hole. I tend to agree with all the information he gave us. Apparently, he thinks the same way now. So let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. I would like to thank everyone for giving me a much needed reality check. I spent some time doing some research, and you guys and my girlfriend were right, and I was definitely lazy, depressed, and neglecting my hygiene and my relationship. It brings me to tears when I think about what it must have been like for my girlfriend. I sat down with her and talked to her about it and said that I felt like I needed therapy. We got a brilliant therapist and had some sessions alone and some together and worked through our issues. I hadn't realized it, but in addition to my hygiene, she was also overworked with doing house chores and finding it hard to balance work and housework. She agreed to help me clean up and trim my body hair one last time, and after that, we bought some new shaving equipment, and I have since started making sure I don't go back to my old ways. I also started going to the gym to do a little cardio and weights, nothing too extreme. I also got a lot of new clothes as a treat and changed my style a bit, including shaving off my beard, which my girlfriend always wanted me to do. I feel like a new person and I'm a lot happier and more energetic. Although sometimes it is a bit weird around my friends and coworkers, and I feel like it is awkward being the new me and like I lost my identity, but I've gotten used to it now. My girlfriend is so much happier and has a spark in her eyes, and I feel like our relationship has been rekindled. Tomorrow is our last therapy session. I have also started cooking more and trying new recipes on weekends, and she loves it. I have signed up for some cooking classes as I discovered I really like cooking. I still feel really awful for what I did to her, and I can't believe how long she put up with it. She said she was very close to ending it. I feel like I truly don't deserve her. Edit to add, I will continue therapy if I feel the need for it. Depressed is probably the wrong word to describe it. It was more lethargy than depression. Alright OP, well I'm gonna call this a happy update. The community called you out, you did something about it, and now your relationship and your life is a lot better. So that's as good as it gets, I guess. Once again, congratulations OP, thank you so much for sharing and all the best in the future. Take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.